You'll see why I'm laughing. It's a good reason. It's a happy laugh. Very happy laugh. Oh. R8RBEAR! Woo! Let's go. Anywhere but Buffalo. Putting foots in you. Damn it. That damn Patrick Mahomes escapes yet again. And it wasn't even, by anything they did. It's even worse. It's just the other team that was playing them just fubbling up everything. Fubbling. Often imitated, never duplicated. That fool with no head that shouts like Ric Flair. What? You heard me. The Raider Bear. Woo! Raiders! Alexa, hush. Raider Bear Live. First comment. Woo! MVP tonight goes to Ramiro Cashflow Castro. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Checking in from YouTube. I really appreciate you. And anyone and everyone else that's checking in from YouTube, please remember to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell so it notifies you when I'm going to be on. John LaJoy, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. He was in second coming in from YouTube. And Mark Vargas, Bear. He got the first bear. He got it from YouTube. Troy Gill, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Checking in from YouTube. Appreciate the love. First place, my gold medal Facebook from all my originals, Dustin King. DK, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Always there for a Raider Bear, upsetting the world champion tonight. Second place, my silver medal goes to Chris Strong. What's up, Chris? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you checking in. Always there for a Raider Bear. And in third place, I gave it away. Edgard Lucky DeLeon. What's up, man? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you and hope you're having a great day and now a great night. So let's keep it rolling. I'm going to talk about a few different topics tonight. Some pretty exciting stuff I want to talk to you about. And any questions you may have, I'll try to answer those as best I can. Don't forget to lock in your seatbelts on the compartments. And over here, the exits are... I started to sound like a flight attendant there. Robert Cortez, Bear. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Cody Palmer, I see you there. What's up, man? Glenn Medina, appreciate the love. David Pelcliva said, what's up? Kim Lassetti, always high in a Raider Bear. Hi, love. Dave, oh, wait, that's you. Denton Rhodes, I got it. Space Force, I'm on it, man, every show. Yeah, I hate KC too, Kim. That was a pretty bummer loss. I mean, Raider fans almost felt like we lost. We were rooting so hard for the Buffalo Bills to pull one out of a hat and go get them, but they were at home, and I don't know how many of you feel this. I know most of you probably get what I'm about to say, but for the one or two people who don't, I just want to educate you in this one way. How do I say this? What happened was it was upsetting for all of us, just like it was a loss for us because KC should have went down. The Bills were at home, blah, blah, blah. But I'm starting to wonder about that Josh Allen kid, man. I just am. I'm not saying he's not talented. He's obviously got the arm and everything. But I don't know. I don't think he has intangibles. He just feels like he's a loser. And he plays kind of cocky, which I don't mind. You know what I mean? If you got it, flaunt it. If you can back it up, you can back it up. And he does. But it always seems like he does enough and then kind of goes, okay, are we done? And then the other team catches up. And it's like they're just not good playing in the fourth quarter if I'm not mistaken. They score like crazy in the first, second, and third. And in the fourth quarter, it's only like 9 points. Glenn Medina, the medal round is not fixed. Candy Demioski, what's up, love? Welcome to the show. Alpha and Omega Forever. How you doing, man? Welcome to the show. Tony, Terry, D, not in his bay. Woo! What's up, man? Welcome to the show. Okay, so let me just go into a couple things here real quick. I thought were super interesting and makes for us to potentially have a really great draft here for 2024. Okay, so I'm sorry, I bravehearted because I was reading this. Okay, so we're number 1, picking number 11. I think that's actually been changed to 13, but I'm not positive because it keeps going back and forth, but I think it's 11. And then in round 2, we pick 42nd. Now, I don't know if you guys have done the math, but that's almost immediately after the first round ends, we're picking like 3rd. Okay, and then again in the 3rd round at number 73, right when the last pick is made in the 2nd, we pick 1st in the 3rd round. That's pretty dope. I mean, that's giving you some pretty high picks in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd without you having to do anything. Just pick where you're at. And so now I want to argue this because when we had Josh McKnucklebutts, Raiders! Hey, Buffalo didn't do what I'm about to say, but we did. We beat the Chiefs. Come on, Buffalo. Come on. You know what I mean? We did it with a rookie quarterback. You got Mr. Josh Flashy, and you're telling me you can't win a game? So frustrating. But now that we have changed coaches and we no longer have Josh McKnucklebutt, we now have AP, and we're wondering how it's going to go down with the general manager and Champ and what's going on with him. I'll explain that in a minute. But let's stick with this one thing first. So with us confirming now that AP is going to be the man, I don't know that we're going to go after a quarterback right away. I could argue that how do I say this? I could argue that AP is going to want to go with a veteran quarterback if we do make a deal with someone, because there are quite a few veteran quarterbacks that are going to be out there and a couple of guys that we have a shot at. Now, the name I'm going to throw at you is going to surprise you because I've been jumping down this guy's throat for a while, but I can't help but like what I saw from the competitor that was Baker Mayfield. The guy just competes, man. And I realize he doesn't have all the intangibles. If I was a scout, I would bring up all the things he does wrong. And I have seen quite a few. And I was one of the first people to call him a bust before he threw a single ball. And I felt like I was right until he did what he did to us last year with the Rams. And then what he did this year with a team that was just a couple years removed from Super Bowl. And he brought them to the playoffs. Now, I can feel a lot of you disagreeing with me. I disagree with me. I don't like Baker Mayfield, but I can't help but see the guy has something. He just does, man. He has that thing. Now, he's going to lose games, but is he always going to lose games? I don't think so. And I would argue if the Buccaneers get their act together, get one weapon on offense and one good tackle on the right side or the left side, or a guard, maybe someone that's going to help him stay on his feet. If you gave him that, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, that guy behind our offensive line, I would be impressed. I really would. I'd be impressed. Okay, so now what I'm getting at, though, is that with AP in charge, I think he's going to go after a veteran quarterback. I think he's going to give that veteran opportunity. Now, will it be Russell Wilson, for example? There's another name that you could throw out there. There's a possibility with that. He would be cheap at this point. You know, he's not going to come and try to think that he's going to break the bank with the Raiders. Where at the same time, does anyone really think Russell is really that old? Now, personally, I think he's washed. I do. I think he's washed. So why would I say it might be a good year? Because he's only got 2 years. Okay, maybe I think left in the tank. If the Raiders gave him a 1 year with an extension potential, if he plays well in the first year, he counts against us almost nothing. We can see if he still got it. We can find out if I'm right. And if I'm not right, and he still can throw the deep ball, still can run for a few yards and slide and get a first down, then hey, I don't care where he played before. I don't care if he's an enemy of ours. If he becomes a Raider, I root for him, and I believe that he could win with us because we wouldn't expect him to make all these pinpoint passes. Just roll left, roll right, hit guys with bubble screens, hit Michael Mayer. We know Mike Mayer's, one of the best, if not the best, combat catching tight ends in the league. He was in college. I don't know why that wouldn't translate to the pros. And we saw in the few catches he did make before he got hurt that Mayer was competing with linebackers, safeties, and he would always come down with the ball. We already saw enough of it before he got hurt in his first season to know that that's the truth. Because, he was getting covered. He's not exactly blazing fast, and the NFL is fast. And so they had guys all over him, and he was still making separation, still coming down with balls when guys were chopping and pulling at his arms, and he was still making great plays. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is I think that AP is going to go either best player available, or he's going to go with offensive line. Maybe even trade down and go offensive line. I think that would be wise. Maybe you trade out of 11, you would get, a pretty good haul, because whether it's 11 or 13 in the first round, you're going to get a pretty good haul from anyone that needs to trade up. Now, I don't know necessarily what someone would be trading up to, that you can't get before number 11, but it could be the Patriots. You know what I mean? It could be the Falcons, someone that's really trying to get better that wouldn't mind taking our 11, giving us their pick, and then we see what happens. And by the way, we pick in the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, relatively high. Then the number 6 pick is 201st, but then look at number 7, right in the 7th round, 220. So we have early picks in almost every round. 224 in the 7th round. We have 3 7th round picks. The first one is 220. The next one is 224. And then the third 7th round pick is 227. So 220, 224, 227. I like that. And for those of you who are saying, oh, well, it's the 7th round, I want to remind you, there's more kids that are capable coming out of schools than ever before, more colleges than ever before. We've got more grade A recruits than ever before. So there's going to be guys every single draft. And as drafts move forward, it's going to get even better, where you're going to find guys in the 5th, 6th, 7th round that contribute. Now, we need to remember the 49ers, and I apologize for saying that word, but they're on the verge of another Super Bowl, and their quarterback is a 7th round pick. Their running back, Pacheco, is a 7th round pick. Guys, that can't be denied. I'm not happy for them. I don't like reporting that, but the God's honest truth is it supports my argument 1,000%. They have an effective starting running back that they got in the 7th round. And then in the 7th round, dead last, they found a quarterback that's leading the league in almost every statistic that matters for quarterbacks. So before anyone argues with me, you can't get good picks in the 7th round, don't. And with that being said, right on the note where I was being rude, consider a subscription to R8RBEAR family page. It's just $5 a month, and you can cancel at any time, but you won't want to, because we're going to start doing some really fun stuff just for supporters only. I have a supporters only show that was supposed to go on today. My wife ended up in a business meeting, and I got cut short, but I will be on tomorrow for sure. Supporters only. Those of you who are watching that are supporters of R8RBEAR family page, check me out tomorrow, 4 o'clock. I'll be on just for you guys. We're going to be talking a lot more. Okay, so there are some people that are coming out now that the AP situation has been dealt with. In other words, we're getting him. He's going to be the head coach. Contracts are being made. Now it's an opportunity for other people. For example, if I was going to make an argument for why, a certain person should win a job, I probably wouldn't make it until the decision for that job was made. In other words, I don't want to be a reason that I go on my show and say, oh, that guy's a bum. He's a bum. He's a bum. And now he doesn't get the job. And I'm not saying someone would necessarily listen to me, but I'm saying there are podcasters, there are analysts out there, TV guys and internet guys and so on, that waited until the decision by the Raiders to go with AP or not, to then come out of the woodwork and say, okay, now I want to explain why I think that wasn't a good hire. But I didn't want to do that and jeopardize AP's opportunity, because I could be wrong. Now, this is not me saying this. This is another analyst out there saying this. I'm not going to say his name because he doesn't say mine. But the truth of it is that there is a concern about how he adjusts, because we don't know how he'll adjust. Okay. And then when you bring in the rah coach that the entire locker room and all the players endorsed and everyone wanted him to come back, and you say, okay, I'm going to do this for the players, I'm going to listen to my staff. When you do that, you're essentially, the warden is letting the prisoners decide what time lunch is. You know what I'm saying? And you never want the soldiers, yeah, you never want the inmates in charge of the jail. It should always be, you know, the head guy, the cops. You know what I mean? The warden. Okay, so people are wondering when we'll hire our GM. Okay, so we just had another interview, and that is making things interesting for Champ, because it's starting to look like maybe this other kid that we're looking at is who we're going to go with. His name's Tom Telesco. He was fired by the Chargers as a part of the get rid of guys move with Staley and their head coach, and they got rid of them all. They threw the whole front office out. Now, we've actually had Tom Telesco in for one interview already. So when you have a second interview, usually that means you like the guy. Now, if we step back for a second and look at the Chargers personnel, that GM knows what he's doing. I mean, if you just go by the work he's done with the Chargers, he knows what he's doing. Now, I like the talent he found on the team. I like the guys he brought out of the draft and brought to the team. The Chargers got better pretty quickly. Now, having said that, that would mean we don't get Champ Kelly. Now, for those of you who are in Champ Kelly's corner, like I am, I would say this to you. Champ Kelly has been in on all of the interviews that Mark Davis has been scheduling. So see, Mark Davis is still treating Champ Kelly like the general manager as we speak. In other words, even though he interviewed, it's not like he sent him home. You know, the next day he came into work and does what he's supposed to do, general manager duties and responsibilities. Now, having said that, the Tom Telesco second interview does make it look like Champ Kelly's not going to get the job. But the reason I put emphasis on the relationship he has with Mark Davis is because I want to remind everyone, when we brought in Josh McDaniels, Champ Kelly was interviewed potentially for the head general manager's job. Okay. And they ended up going with Dave Ziegler. Now, when Dave Ziegler was chosen as the general manager, Champ Kelly just simply went back to his responsibilities on the team. Now, ask yourself this question. Did you ever hear any Raider fan go, "Oh man, poor Champ Kelly"? No, because I mean, why? Because think about it. He's got his job. He still works for the Raiders. He's still important, still makes his money, still valuable to the team. And remember, he came over from the Chicago Bears from his position there, and they didn't want to lose him. The Bears were very upset that he left. He wanted to go to the Raiders. Okay, you know, so what I'm getting at is even if he does pick Tom Telesco, Champ Kelly's not going anywhere. I don't think he has any allegiance to anywhere other than the Raiders. And it may sound crazy because, like I just emphasized, he came from the Bears. But he came from the Bears and then immediately made an incredibly cohesive relationship with Mark Davis, the owner. See, that's massive. And he said many times, this is where I want to be. I want to be a Raider. I want to get the Raiders to greatness. So as long as Mark wants him, and we know he does, and we know Mark will allow him to have the position he's, you know, in, even though he's interviewing for another one, he's not going to be expected to leave if he doesn't win the head coaching job or the GM job. So I like that. I like how that's going down. I really do. And if we do end up going with Tom Telesco at GM, I want everyone to just chill, because Champ's not going anywhere. He's still going to have his job. He's still going to be happy Champ. He's still going to help the Raiders. It'll just be in his usual role. So I'm excited about that. And the reason why I brought up the fact that Champ has been in all the interviews is because obviously he's invaluable to Mark Davis. Mark Davis wanted him by his side in all of the coaching interviews and the GM interviews, even though he was a GM that was going to be interviewing. He still wanted him to be there for that. So a lot of respect for Champ Kelly from Mark Davis. Big time. Troy Gill, I kind of answered your question just then. Dustin King. Appreciate the love on the stars, brother. Who's going to be the new OC? I'm not sure about the OC yet. We have already heard Kingsbury, the guy from college that went to the Arizona Cardinals and tried to rebuild the Cardinals with Kyler Murray. Well, he got let go. And most people know him to be an offensive guru, that it wasn't about him being a head coach. Now, any offensive coordinator that's offered a potential head coaching job, you have to take it. The money's just too awesome. I mean, it's a lottery ticket. Even if you think you might get there and lose, so what? Like for example, the Arizona situation and how it applies to Kingsbury. Most people don't think that Kingsbury is a bad coach because of what happened in Arizona. They think Arizona would have happened to almost any coach because Arizona was not just a bad team, but they were a bad team trying to deny that they were a bad team and trying to rebuild the team on the fly. And you can't do that. When you lost JJ Watt and all those other guys, the team was all in bad shape already. Like for example, they're talking about keeping Kyler Murray. I think that's a mistake. I think if you put Kyler Murray out there in a trade, you could potentially get more picks and move up and rebuild the team faster by finding more bodies to bring in that are high draft picks. And obviously for Kyler Murray, a young quarterback who's got a proven arm, you could ask for something pretty big. Yeah, Glenn Medina, the KC game was just, I was furious. Woody Brown, what's up, Raider Bear? What do you think about Penix Jr.? Woody, I like him, but I wouldn't like him starting. I would like him to come in the exact same way AOC came in, except not mid-year. I would rather he got, I'm correcting myself because I didn't mean to say that, because AOC came in twice, in the middle of the year. And that was because Josh McKnucklepucks. But Woody Brown, I would say to you, Penix would be nice, but I would like him to have a year to build his body up. I think he's just a thin guy. You know what I mean? And I've been in sports medicine for a very, very long time. I've worked with doctors and chiropractors. I've seen all sorts of muscular builds and I've seen all sorts of injuries, okay, for 20 plus years. And I can tell you that when I see Penix, I see injuries because he's just so frail. He's so thin. Honestly, I'd like to see him put on 20 pounds. And I know that might sound like a lot, but I'd like to see him put on 20 pounds. And I'm not saying, it's got to be, big muscles, but he needs to gain a little weight. He'll still be fast, but he's got to gain a little bit of frame. Candy Dimniowski. Appreciate the love and the stars. Yeah, the Bills did choke. That was absolutely a joke. Tomorrow marks 19 years of military service for me in the Army. Only 2 years remaining. Retirement is coming finally. Wow, Alpha. First, thank you for your service. Second, that's amazing. And third, we're all proud of you. Let's see. Dustin Curry. As much as I don't want KC to win our house, it would put a huge chip on our shoulder next season. Maybe that would be good motivation to take the division next year. No. No, hell no. Put foot to that attitude, okay? There is no way, and I mean no way, that I'm ever going to be okay with thinking, oh, yeah, let's just win him one in Vegas. Just let our arch rival, the little redheaded Teletubby with his really high voice and his stick figure wife and his super TikTok annoying brother. Can I keep going? His fat coach that does these lame commercials and talks about how he wants some more nuggies. Come on, man. I just could you really think that any Raider coach that's been a Raider coach in the history of all our Raider coach, even the losing ones, would be doing a commercial talking about getting some nuggies? That was ridiculous. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. I think they're going to be motivated enough, Dustin, by the head coach, AP. I think that was a pick for the players. And I think sometimes you can do that. If you really look at our Raiders closely, what are we when you really look at us closely? We're a pretty good team that has flaws, that isn't quite there yet to be a consistently good team, but a dangerous good team. So you see what I'm saying? It's like glasses half full, glasses half empty. That's kind of where we are because we have a quarterback, but is that our guy? And what do we have behind him? Essentially, nothing. You know what I mean? So we are pretty much in, a make it or break it. There's not going to be any in between for the next couple of years. We're either going to be pretty damn good or it's not going to work. Josh Allen is not consistent when the pressure is on. Yeah, and his stats, I don't know if you saw it, but he's bad in the fourth quarter. Couldn't believe that. Harold Skilligreer, what's up? Harold, welcome to the show. Kevin LaRoche, what's up, Kev? Welcome to the show. Always there for Raider Bear, Raider Dog. Glenn Medina, the Buffalo Bills do need more than Diggs, but I honestly think Diggs is super overrated. He's just so overrated. He acts like Terrell Owens, but doesn't have Terrell Owens' talent or size or speed. I don't like him. To me, he's like Hunter Renfrow, just a little bit faster. Because I don't know if anyone noticed that, but that deep bomb that Diggs dropped, the cornerback was all over him. He couldn't separate. And we all know separation is the key to the name of the game when you're in the passing attack. And that's what they do because they can't run the ball. Jim Vanderlyn. We dog walked the Chiefs, right? And it was good. Okay, let's see. Bucky Brooks has us picking a Mauler Brawler at number 13 overall in his first mock draft of 2024. What do you think? And who it could be to complement Max Crosby? Well, welcome to the show again, Alpha. And I would say this to you: they're not going to look in the draft for that. And if they do, it's going to be a developmental player. They're not going to, because they feel like Malcolm Kuntz came a long way. And they're also talking. There's rumors about Josh Allen, not Josh Allen, the quarterback of the Buffalo Bills, but Josh Allen, the defensive back of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, there are those that think the Jaguars are this close to basically admitting that this team, as it consists with this coach, that's not good enough. And you're paying all these guys to come back and do what? Come in seventh again? You see, so an owner, like for example, me, I would be the first to do this. If I realize, okay, this quarterback with his long blonde hair is not the guy. Is not the guy. Okay. Their running game is, okay. Their offensive line is not very good. Their defense is, so. I mean, it's kind of like our defense. It's like one weekend we look like incredible. And then the next weekend we're just giving up plays because we just make miscommunications. It's not even like because we athletically couldn't stop it. It's because two guys went with one guy and then they both realized someone's wide open. Like what happened with Travis Kelce in the game when he caught one of those touchdowns he caught. It was just wide open. It was ridiculous. Anthony Acosta, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Yeah, Baker is a gamer. Honestly, and I don't like him. I think he's really flawed. I even broke his game down once last year, and I was saying whenever he's pressured, he always runs right, even if the pressure comes from the right. And then in that very same game he just lost, pressure came on the right side, and he turned to his right and ran into it. I mean, it was like he didn't see him and just turned and went, oops, bam. And you can't just run right every time. You know what I mean? But he's just known for it. Now, am I saying he never runs left? No. But I'm saying if you run 10 plays and he gets pressured on 10 of them, 8, he's going to run right. And 2, he'll run left. And that's it. If that. Daniel Jones. Tony Terry, I would say to you this, brother. He didn't really get a chance to show himself to New York. And I don't know if you remember this, but it was Peyton Manning and his brother that were kind of grooming this guy, Daniel Jones, for the future. So I think Daniel Jones might be a good quarterback. I've seen him run. He's got Kaepernick kind of build. He's real fast with his legs. But you don't notice it. But I'm telling you that he can run. Now you combo that with the fact that he's pretty tall. He's got guts. He'll stand in the pocket. He gets hurt a little bit more than we'd like to see. But I don't think that's an injury prone thing. I think part of that was the same thing that we were doing with Darren Waller. That once he made it to the bench on an injury, they just kept extending the injury to keep him off the field so he doesn't get it re-aggravated. They can tell all the other teams he's available, and then you can make a trade with him that's valuable. James Quan Woodley, what's up? Welcome to the show. I saw an article where Davante Adams was talking up getting Kirk Cousins. Jim, honestly, I agree with that. I don't like that Davante Adams talks as much as he does. I would really like him to stop talking so much. And I mean that with respect. And I'm not saying it like I think, oh, you're a dummy or a fool or you should shut up and stuff like that. There's no heat to it. I just feel like because he's a star player and he's our number one offensive player, whenever right there with Josh Jacobs, but whenever he speaks, the press get to reach out, take those comments, and then twist what he said to make it sound like he's saying it out of a place of anger. Oh, I'm unhappy with what the Raiders are doing. AOC was just average, so they better get me someone like Kirk Cousins. That's not what he's saying. What he's saying is he likes AOC. But like anyone else can see, he's a rookie. And, rookies can take 2 seasons just to get them right. And we don't have time to waste Davante Adams' time like that. We just don't. He's not that kind of player. He's an all-star player that needs all-star game right now. And let's be honest, Kirk Cousins is legit. He gets hurt sometimes, but he's legit. He doesn't always win the big games, but he wins. And he's tough. So I would back that up. Chandler Jones said CTE isn't real. Well, we can't go with anything Chandler Jones is saying at this point. I'm extremely bothered by how he's been handled. I think it's wrong. I think that we should have all been talking about the medical parts of what's going on with him from jump. But instead, you had general managers and owners, and you had other former players like Chris Sims and guys like that calling him a bum and saying, what is he doing? You guys are all involved with football. You know how prevalent CTE has been over the last 5 years, 6 years, the research into it and everything else. And now a guy who's been getting banged up on the regular, for a long time, a veteran player, and that is now distinctly showing a difference in his personality that we'd never seen before. But we just start berating the guy and tell him he's responsible for what he says and does and blah, blah, blah. And not even regarding. We're going to find out that his brain is swimming in CTE. I would be willing to bet on it. Name a dollar figure, I'd bet it. And I mean that with absolute respect. I like Chandler Jones. I was hoping he was going to be better for us. You know what I mean? But I think that CTE, I think that may have kicked in more so maybe than ever when he joined us. And it affected his play. Right? It just did. You could just see he wasn't getting hurt. He wasn't, disgruntled. He just was on the bench, and then suddenly all this nuts comes out. What's up, Kev? Baker's tough. I found myself rooting for him lately. He isn't afraid of big moments. He has matured. Sherry, that's a good way of saying it. And welcome to the show. And I got to tell you, great profile picture. But I got to tell you, I'm really eating crow on this one. I don't mind telling you guys. I mean, when I tell you guys, hey, I was really right about this, and I picked this, and I picked this, and there's a lot of times I can do that. But when I'm wrong, I should be just as quick to say that too. It's not fair for me to say, oh, look at, So I think I was just wrong on Baker Mayfield. Because if you look at how well he's done on bad teams and teams that were in transition, like the Rams, the Rams obviously, they look pretty good toward the second half of the year. But when they just plugged him in last year, when they didn't know what they were doing, he was good. He just walks off an airplane, looks at us and says, hold my beer, and sends us home with a loss. You know what I mean? I was blown away by that. And I don't care what defense that Gunther picked. It shouldn't have lost to that guy. It just shouldn't have. Because even if he is as good as I'm willing to admit now, he still had only been with the Rams for like 5 minutes. You know what I mean? He didn't even know what plays were being called. He was just looking around, seeing things, and organically just going, oh, okay, I'll hear it. Oh, okay, here. If we lose Graham, we'll get another third. John the Lion Leon. What's up, John? Welcome to the show. John, I agree with that. I do. I think I was willing to go even maybe to a 2. Because remember, it's defensive head coach. It's not an assistant. It's not a linebackers coach or a DB's coach. You're one rung under a head coach. So I would say maybe even a 2nd. I'd get a quarterback still. Well, Glenn, we have the kind of picks where we'll be able to do that. We pick early in each one of the first 3 to 4 rounds. We pick fairly early. And so if we look again for another AOC in this draft, we could do that. Or just like my viewer was saying with Penix will be there. I don't think there's any doubt that although Penix is good, I think that by the time the draft gets here, because you know how it is when the draft actually gets here, the lead up to it is just chop, 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 lots of talk. But what do? They downgrade guys. And I just think that Penix is going to get downgraded because he got banged up a little bit, showed that he could get banged up at the college level. What's going to happen in the pros? And then more importantly, he's just, like I was saying, just a real thin frame. Easy does it. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Let's see. We got to bring back Jacobs regardless of what Zamir did in his absence. Got to make him a Raider for life. Honestly, I don't know about that one, man. Alpha, I don't know about that one, man, because you have to know when to let guys go. And I don't want to let go of Josh Jacobs, but at the same time, we're stuck in a situation. We have a running back that is showing he can do it. The only problem I have is it keeps going like this, back and forth and back and forth. For every good, there's a bad, and every bad, there's a good. Zamir's been running great. He's matured, but he still has 2 bad legs. They, had major surgery on coming out of college. And at any moment, they could blow again, and we wouldn't have a running game and had traded Josh Jacobs. Whereas Josh Jacobs has shown himself to be durable. Now, has he gotten injured? Of course. But, I mean, it was, a hand, a shoulder, a knee, that kind of thing. But he didn't miss the whole season. He would always come back and play hard for us. So I would probably keep Jacobs too. We need to get a tough one that is willing to step up to our defensive on O-line men's and other players. Okay. Jesse Shepard, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. I like that hat. AP will get us into the playoffs next season. I'm going to say yes, just because I don't think the Colts game and the Vikings game, those two games to me, were kind of the signal that we weren't ready with AOC. He wasn't ready yet. Obviously, he's a rookie, but even though he's a rookie, there have been rookies that have come right in and fired away. You know what I mean? Look at what CJ Stroud is doing with the Texans. So he very well could have played that well. He hasn't, but he's had games where he played well. Let's not forget, AOC is the guy who scored more at the quarterback position than any other Raider team has ever scored, 63 points. So we can say that's a, fluke or whatever, but you wouldn't be making any sense because remember, it came from the 0 game we had from the Vikings. So he responded to the 0 game with Gabow video game numbers. So I was happy about that. Daniels from LSU maybe costs too much. Patrick, welcome to the show, brother. No, I don't think so. I think they may do it. But I could see a situation where at quarterback, we don't even draft a quarterback. I could see us going after one of the best linemen and then go get Kirk Cousins in free agency. And since that's been brought up, I'm just saying out loud, I love that. Now, I think Kirk Cousins is a winner. And I think the few times that he hasn't won, if you look back at his teams that he was on where he didn't win, it was because they really weren't ready to win. They didn't have enough for Kirk Cousins to be who he wants to be. I think we do. I think we have a good line that will get better. I think it'll get better from this draft because I think they're going to go after somebody in the draft that can really play. I have an article right here I was reading earlier about this young man. Let me get right here. Okay, here we go. Now that the Raiders have officially announced Antonio P as the new coach, he has to build an offensive staff, regardless of who's coaching. The Raiders got good play from offensive line, but that group had Fuaga. How am I going to say that last name? I've already been trying and I'm failing badly. Anyway, Oregon State's offensive tackle, Taliz Fuaga. Now, big guy, but still has feet. He's not a big bellied guy. And I kind of like that. He reminds me of Colton Miller in that way. He's big, but he's naturally big. So he didn't, grow this giant belly to end up weighing 300 pounds. He's just a big, big dude. And I love the idea of that because remember, we still aren't solid at right tackle. We got better because I felt like Thayer Munford had one of the best years of his career. He was bouncing back and forth from right to left and just played great. And we as Raider fans just sat back quietly and enjoyed the wins and the good gameplay at the offensive line and not realizing a lot of that was Thayer Munford. So I like what Thayer Munford brought for us. I don't know that I'd call him a starter. I like what he does. I just don't know if I'd call him a starter. But as far as backing up the line, I absolutely would keep him. I maybe even consider giving him a little bit more lucrative contract, maybe a little bit of a bump up bonus to stay. Glenn Medina said, why would AP get a veteran? Honestly, Glenn, you almost have to go get a veteran because if you start AOC and he has another year like last year, you're in effect throwing the season away. Okay, now, can AOC be the guy? I've said it many times. I will say it again, looking right into the camera. Yes, I love the kid from Purdue. I love him. Now, having said that, he was given an opportunity last year. And we may say, he's a rookie, blah, blah, and there was all these headaches. None of that matters. There's no faith in any of that when you're in the NFL now because there's so many hundreds of millions of dollars that are on the line that when you're given an opportunity, you have to capitalize on that opportunity. And if you don't, you're not going to get another one usually. It's just how it is. It's not fair. It's not right. But I'm telling you, if they give AOC an opportunity to be the starter next year, I'll be stunned. Stunned. You know what I mean? Because everyone that, thinks they know football, analysts on ESPN and Fox, they think you can't stay with AOC. They think that he's a good kid and a decent quarterback, but he's a number 2 at best. And I think that's ridiculous. He made all the throws. He's got a deep arm. He's got a big build. He's tough. He's smart, and he doesn't back down. He's had bad games and bounced right back. I love the kid. Hey, Tommy. Hi, Mr. Bear. I'll probably throw it away after the weekend, but I asked mommy to buy me a Ravens hat to wear on Sunday. They have to beat the dirty Chiefs. Well, I appreciate that you invested in a hat to give the team some good luck. That was smart. We need the OG Raiders player that played with the nation. Let's see. Inmates running the asylum. Yeah. DeAndre Miller, what's up, Raider Bear? I'm late. Laugh out loud. Did you do any quarterback talk yet? DeAndre Miller, quite a bit. But I would say to you, I don't think they're going to move off of AOC. I just don't think they're going to allow him to be the starter at first. I think they're going to want to go with a veteran because they can bring in someone like Kirk Cousins, and he can run the team right away. And then, you just get better as a result. Hey, love. What's up? Did you get coffee? I did. No, appreciate you looking in. Oh, by the way, everyone's going to say hi now. So just say hi to everyone. There you go. All right, let's see. Raider Miguel, I'm sorry, but we need to pick a quarterback every year to find the one, and I blame this on Carr. It is all Carr's fault. Well, let's not forget that Carr is with the Saints, and he is in about as hot water as you can be. They didn't make the playoffs when they felt like they had a playoff team, and that's why they went after him. But, they had the same shtick from him where he throws when he shouldn't and doesn't throw when he should because he doesn't want his stats to get all jacked up. And it's not going well. But the rumors that you hear about John Gruden coming to their offensive staff and potentially becoming their OC, very real. So very real. And the NFL can't keep John Gruden out. I have the Ravens beating the Chiefs, and I have them beating the Chiefs for more reasons than I just don't like them. I hate the Chiefs. I literally hate it, and I hate very few things, but I hate the Chiefs. But Baltimore will beat them. Kevin LaRoche, it's not going to be 40 points because even if they get ahead, say 35-20 or 37-20, they're not going to keep pouring it on. They're just going to want to slow the game down, run the ball, make safe passes, and not give the ball back to the Chiefs and let them lose because the clock runs out. Steve Marchand, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. James and Princetta Walker in the house. Family, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Let's see. Troy Gill said Ed Dobbs should be the GM. I'm hearing a lot of that. That's the guy with the Colts, I think it is, right? And I like that. I won't lie. I like that. But, Champ Kelly, I want everyone to understand, like some of you, I want Champ to get the job. But if he doesn't, I don't care because unlike most positions, he's not going to leave the Raiders. He'll stay with the Raiders. He'll probably go back to his just normal position. And then he'll, try for the job again. And Mark maybe considers him next time, because he gets a little bit more tutelage being around guys, that are offensive coordinators already. Rendell Rhodes. Let's see. Hey, Bear, everyone is saying we need a quarterback, but for a fourth-round pick, Aiden O'Connell looked pretty good. I want to see what he can do with an experienced play caller. I know a couple of guys who played college quarterback, and they all say the same thing. The kid looks good. I'm going to pat myself on the back here. Let's not forget, he was my pick to be the dark horse quarterback to come out of that draft, and then we got him. Okay, so in effect, I picked our Raiders picking that guy. And there was no heat on him. There was nobody talking about Purdue's quarterback. Nobody. Okay, but I saw that he was third best in almost every statistical category and was only behind C.J. Stroud and the number one pick that went to the Panthers. They were the only two quarterbacks that had a better completion percentage, accuracy rate, and so on. The only ones. And his was right on their tails. So in other words, think of it like this. If the first quarterback had 97%, and the second quarterback was throwing for 94%, AOC's throwing it like 92%. You see what I mean? So he was like right on their tails. So he has what it takes. He really does. Bruce Bonds, nobody's going to bring back Carr. He had 9 years. There's no way. What about Kingsley as the OC? Well, I've been asked this already. I want to answer it as seriously as I can. Yes. I mean, because we have to understand, is he an offensive coordinator? Yes. He's not a head coach. Now, he went to the Cardinals to try and be their head coach, and it failed miserably. I don't think that reflects on him. I think that reflects on the Cardinals and the mess they have there, and it's just too much. It's just too much of a mess there to expect one guy to come in and fix everything right away, unless that guy's, the next thing to a John Madden. But Kingsbury isn't that. He's an offensive guy. He makes offenses, and he makes them move, and that is one thing we can say about the Cardinals. It wasn't their offense that stalled. You know what I mean? It wasn't their ability to move the ball on teams. They moved the ball. The guy knows offense. Israel Casillas said Marvin Lewis is a good addition to help AP. Not only that, but Israel, I know you're already saying it. I just want to say it out loud. He's going to bring that level-headed head coaching attitude. Remember, Lewis, when he was with the Bengals, it was over a decade. I mean, he was there for like 10, 11 years. And in that time, he had like 7 winning seasons, something like that. It was a lot. And he was doing that, guys, with Andy Dalton, okay, who we all know at this point. I don't even know if that guy was ever a starter. I look at Andy Dalton the same way I look at Derek Carr. I think sometimes a guy gets the starting job because he has the intangibles, but up here or in his arm or whatever the case may be, he just doesn't have enough. Or maybe it's injuries that start to pile up and they don't have enough because of that. I don't know. But with him, there always seemed to be something wrong. You know what I mean? With Andy Dalton, and they would still win games. You know what I mean? Still find a way. They changed the running back a few times. They changed the wide receiver a few times. As their number one receiver, and they just kept on winning. Steve Marchand said, ready, Bear, do you think we're going to keep Champ Kelly? Steven, beautiful baby. I love that picture. I would say this to you. We're not letting Kelly go. So if I'm going to answer your question specifically, you said, ready, Bear, do you think we're going to keep Champ Kelly? The answer is yes. He's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. Whether he gets the job or not, he's not going anywhere. He's a Raider. And Mark Davis has made that clear. He doesn't want him to leave. And he's already applied for the general manager job when Dave Ziegler beat him out for it. So he's just doing it again. Now, does he want to keep losing that? No. But I mean, I think eventually Mark Davis will see him as experienced enough to do it. Just not yet. Glenn Medina said, Bo Nix, Bear. I'm not against that. A little bit better body. Let's see. O'Connell can't scramble. We need a mobile quarterback. Raider Miguel, I'm going to keep saying this until people listen to me. How many mobile quarterbacks have won Super Bowls? Huh? Be honest. Steve Young? Maybe. I know there was a couple more, but I mean, there's literally like in the 100 years of football, you've had like 3 guys, really win throwing with their legs. As the legs is their second option, another weapon. Kaepernick couldn't get it done. They thought he was the future, of the whole league, that everyone in the league is going to start getting these quarterbacks that are all 6'5" and can run and they're lanky. And, you saw it with Daniel Jones, big guy, tall, lanky, can run, doesn't win. Kaepernick doesn't win. Michael Vick. Oh, it's so exciting. Doesn't win. You know what I mean? So wins games, sure. But that's like moving the ball between the 20s and kicking field goals. Penix is 6'3", 215 pounds. Mark Vargas, maybe it was just how I saw him. I didn't look at his stat. I didn't realize he was that heavy. I knew he was 6'3", but I thought he would probably walk in at more like 185, 188. His arms he looked skinny to me. Maybe it was just the way I was looking at him. But you make a good point that if he is 214, 215, he's probably fine. Would you trade up for LSU's kid? Patrick Molberg, when I look at the picks we have, I want to say yes. Let me go. Where's my list of picks? Okay, there we go. We have 3 7s. So I would move up by giving them, let's say, our 1 and our 5, or maybe our 1 and 1 or 2 of our 7s, a 1 and 2 7s. I think that would be enough because we're not having to get up to the top. And that would be something we would do on the fly. For example, if the draft starts and suddenly the Raiders see that Penix is still on the board and there's only 2 more picks before you get to the Raiders, well, now you got to pick up the phone and start really seriously considering giving up more picks and get that guy. Because you could have a legitimate competition between him and AOC, and maybe we find out which one of them really is the youth moving forward, or we have a terrible year. Bear, do you think the torch will be lit for the Super Bowl? They better. I think they will. I don't know why they wouldn't. Raider Miguel, I don't know. If the Niners were somehow able to win it at the Super Bowl in our stadium, I wouldn't like it, but that wouldn't taste as bad as KC. The Niners really aren't. We're not in the same, division anymore. We don't really pay. We don't have the Bay Area battle anymore. You know what I mean? So I don't see them. I don't see them the same way now. You know what I mean? They're an afterthought. I think about the Broncos. I think about the Chiefs. I think about the Chargers. And that's really it. And a handful of other teams that play in our division out of the AFC and are in our schedule. But outside of that, I'm not tripping off the Niners. Bob Standard, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. No, Jake Scott, I was not late. Okay, let's see. Our options are draft a top quarterback, pursue a veteran quarterback, hire a top OC, or hope that PG doesn't leave, sign a top defensive player in free agency. I don't know if Paul's going to stay. I don't know if Gunther's going to stay. I don't think he's going to stay, man. Alpha, you know me. You've been watching my show for a little bit now. You know what I mean when I say that. I'm feeling something there. That guy is going to see contracts. He's going to see the potential of maybe becoming, at the very minimum, a defensive coordinator for another team and getting a big bump up raise. And there's just so many jobs available, both at defensive coordinator and head coach, that I just can't see Paul Gunther not jumping. Great question, though, as always. And I agree with picking our quarterback. As far as a veteran, I like the opinion of one of my viewers when they said Kirk Cousins. I love the sound of that. I think that guy would come in and win with us right away. And then you can pick someone as far as offensive line and, wide receiver and running back and get away from quarterback. Now, some people say we should go quarterback, find the young guy right now. Why? We've got AOC. We don't know what he is yet, but what we do know, he has shown legitimate potential. To me, he deserves more than just one look. And if we go after someone else at quarterback that's a high pick, we're saying to him, you're not going to get a long-term look. We think it's this guy. So we're going to let you play to see what you got. But in reality, we're letting you play to see what you got because no matter what you do, we're just showcasing you for other teams. So now moving forward, you can whisper to these other teams, when they get mid-year, hey, you guys need a quarterback? Yeah, we got the guy, we got this good, quarterback, blah, 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 blah. And that's say if AOC took the job, let's say, from Kirk Cousins and outplayed him. Well, then you trade him, get big draft picks. Kirk Cousins moves back up into the starter. You look at Penix. Penix is ready. He's 2. And then if, you get to week 4 and Kirk Cousins isn't winning, you move up Penix. I should hope so. But Bob, the linebackers for the Ravens are very good, but their corners are very average, and their safety play is pretty good, and their defensive line is pretty good. But when you heard what I was saying there, what did I say? It's the corners. That's where the Ravens are vulnerable. And, a guy like Travis Kelce and these other wide receivers running crossing routes, they're going to be able to leave those guys, and Patrick Mahomes is going to have lanes to throw the ball. And so all I can do is pray that the Ravens just use Lamar Jackson the right way, run the ball, eat clock, short passing game, score touchdowns, not field goals, and then play hard defense. Bill Cox, I think AP will want Josh Jacobs to stay. Yeah, that's why I'm also thinking that we're not going to pick a quarterback. I think that he's going to see, he's going to have the attitude of, I'm going to find out what AOC has, because now I'm the coach, I'm in charge. So if next year I need to go to the quarterback, I can do it then. Josh Allen tried a bounce pass for a touchdown. He just couldn't get enough on it because the pass rush kind of bumped him. Sin Lopez, hi, love. Good to see you. Anna. Diaz Rincon, my first supporter ever. And there's Vicky again. Hi, Vicky. Okay, let's see. Richard Silva, how about the quarterback from Baltimore, the backup? I would like someone a little bit more, just more. Not Daniel Racket Ralph Jones. I just see potential there. Vicky Good. Appreciate the love on the stars, Vicky. And completely agree. When everyone says they completely agree with me, I'm just going with that. Okay, let's see. Mark Davis is stuck on Champ Kelly and Ed Dobbs for the GM. Who deserves it more? Oh, Dobbs. It can't be about deserves it. If it's about deserves it, it's Dobbs. He's already shown he can do the job. Champ Kelly's been tipping his toes in the water. But at the same time, I have made it very clear, I do want Champ to get the job. I do. I don't think that just because someone else is more qualified for a job, that means that they're always going to be better at that job. Okay, let's see. Daniel Jones is like Josh Allen, except Jones is a little bit more fragile and let his emotions get the best of him. He always looks sad when crap hits the fan. DeAndre, great comment. Oh, and great profile picture too. Congratulations on your marriage. Would you get rid of Adams for picks? Sounds like he's upset. Glenn Medina, if they really wanted a shot, like they really, really wanted to go after Caleb Williams, Devontae Adams would do it. You give up your draft pick, you give him Devontae Adams, and then they give you the number one pick and probably something else, because we'd be giving them Devontae Adams and our number one pick. So they'd have to give us something back. But it would probably be their number one and their number four, something like that. And then once that happens, I've always tried to argue one player does not make, a winning team. It just doesn't. It takes more than that. Wait. And Dorothy Bell. Dorothy Bell. Woo. Love you, girl. Okay, here we go. No, I'm going right to the end. I know I've got like a couple more minutes. We can cover all this stuff. Bear is never wrong. Yes. No one ever says that. Appreciate you, Glenn. Glenn is my attorney. Everyone see him. Bear, what's the news? Matthew Lincoln. Well, honestly, Matthew, to me, the most interesting news was the fact that we had Tom Telesco in for a second general manager interview. I don't think Champ's going to get the job. I don't think he's not going to get it because he's not, capable. I just think that Mark Davis, I don't think he wants him to be that busy. Does that make sense? I think Mark Davis likes him to be free to do the things he does for Mark Davis. Because I would argue he's like an assistant, a super assistant, to Mark Davis. And he has, his other role. And I think Mark Davis is afraid to lose that because we know he's already applied for GM before. And he gave the job to Dave Ziegler instead. And he stayed with the Raiders. That's why I think if we do that to him again, he'll stay with the Raiders. He's still going to want to be there with Mark Davis. You know what I mean? Because the water out there is cold. If he leaves us and just tries to go to some other team and get a job, it's difficult. You know what I mean? If you don't really have the resume. And I would argue, he's got the resume, but probably not enough. Okay, let's see. Man, if the doctors ever get there on AB and Chandler Jones CTE results back, they're going to outlaw football. Rendell Rhodes, no. We already had the CTE scandal come and go. There was this mass exodus of kids not playing football. All sorts of local kids football leagues were shutting down. And that has since changed. They're opening up again. A lot of them are back. And they're basically saying, we don't have to feel afraid, of this. Even if it does happen, these things that happen to kids where sometimes they get neck injuries and they get hurt, it's extremely rare. And when you see how many guys that have been made quadriplegics, I mean, literally like one of the worst injuries you can get where you're in a wheelchair and you can't barely move any part of your body. That's happened to like 4, 5 guys out of thousands and thousands that have played multiple snaps for multiple years and never ended up like that. So I just don't think you stop doing something because one handful of a group gets hurt from doing it. Hope Raiders great. Art Powell and Eric Allen get into the Hall of Fame this year. Finally. Eric Allen, yes. Art Powell, not sure. What happened to Jimmy? They're going to cut him soon. They just haven't yet. And when they cut him, it's going to save us a little money, but not much. And it won't be till June 1st. June 1st, they'll do the whole thing. And then what will happen is his contract separates in 2 pieces. So we're only responsible for half of it this year and the other half next year. So we can actually spread it out over 2 years. Half and half. And then the following year, half and half. And, he's not going to care. He's already rich. So he doesn't care. He's guaranteed the money. So. Defensive coordinator Glenn Medina, I'm not sure. I know that they were looking at a couple of different guys. They're probably not going to announce it anytime soon because you got to figure out what Paul Gunther's doing. Because I know Paul Gunther's been getting interviews. And so I think maybe the reason why we started talking about Leslie Frazier is because I think there might be a distinct chance that we're going to get Leslie Frazier. Now, don't hold me to that. I'm not making a prediction. I'm just simply saying that I think that could happen because it just would be a good fit because the guy's good everywhere he goes. Alexa, resume. I gotta get my timing down on that. Alexa, play this song from the beginning. No, don't argue with me. My other one's playing. Alexa, play Hide by NASA. I think the one in the kitchen heard me because the music came on in there. No, now I can't hear it. Speaking of can't hear it, shout out to our armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, Space Force. For all you do, the energy and love of this show is dedicated to your sacrifice. You're active and veteran. Much love. R8RBEAR! Much love. I will see you tomorrow. I will be auctioning off that Dia de los Muertos sign. So if you really like this sweet Raider Cave, Dia de los Muertos. I know I'm saying that wrong. Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead sign, aka for football and the Raiders. If you're interested, return tomorrow and I will be auctioning off this fine item. Why am I trying so hard to sound like Rod Sterling? Aww. Much love, peace. I'll see you tomorrow on R8RBEAR family page. Bye.